Hello and welcome to Showstar's House. This is a program that brings you conversations that are driving, the narrative in the country. And of course, today you'll be glad to know that I am not in the studio. I'm on the program with Honorable Chipoka Mulenga. He is Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, as well as Member of Parliament for Chingola Central. Honorable, thank you so much for making time for the people of Zambia.
Thank you very much, Showstars, for hosting me. It's an amazing one. I've been following you. I've been watching the good works you're doing. So I thought when I received the invite, I said, oh, fine. Let me also be privileged to be featured.
No, I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad to call people like you, and you can easily respond and come to us. It's really an honor.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Honorable, we have about 5 months to August general election.
Yeah.
You are a member of Parliament for Chingola Central.
Yeah.
My first question to you is: are you recontesting?
For parliamentary seat?
Yes.
Yes. I plan to do that. And but ultimately, look. At the end of the day, there are two people that decide. God first, He decides by His grace. He gives us the ability to serve the people and the privilege. Number two, the people decide based on how you have served them, and you see that, okay, let me do for this, but I really want to do it. Then again, at the end of the day, His Excellency the President, you see, okay, fine, you served him well, fit, then go for it. But I have got intentions to serve, to recontest, definitely.
Wonderful. I know that you said God first, the people must also see if they still want to give you another mandate.
Yeah.
Why should the people of Chingola see fit to give you another 5-term mandate?
Brilliant. Look, Chingola has had a share of its challenges as one of those constituencies in the country. It has its own fair share of challenges. Others are natural, others are social driven.
Yes.
Not politically driven, but social challenges. And since time immemorial, Chingola has been known for that. But definitely, leadership must be available to see how you avert problems. Despite those challenges, with the guidance from the president, the inspiration by the party policies, and my motivation as a resident there, working together with everyone, I have never left my people from day one. I've been that member of parliament that has been very committed to say we have to serve the people. We have to work for them. Beyond the provisions of the government policies, the 8 national development plans, as an individual you should have a driven motivation to say, let me see what my people need, then I will represent them ably.
So you've been with the people on the ground?
Through and through. And we have provided the right change in many different areas of social and economic development. I have the biggest constituency on the Copper Belt in population, the biggest. Despite getting the equal share of the CDF, we have managed to make sure that in most of the constituent wards, there is development visible that was never there before.
Before you?
Yes. And I'm very proud to say that we've done that beyond the normal things.
Let's talk about the developmental initiatives under you that you can say only came up after you were elected.
Sure. I will tell you something that is quite iconic. Like I said, it has had a fair share of challenges, which we are working together to resolve them.
Yes.
Chiwempala market is the biggest market in the entire district, which does not only serve the district, which does not only serve the constituency, but it serves also other districts that are surrounding it, like Lufwanyama, Chirilabombwe, including Solwezi. This market is a meeting place for every trader in our district.
Yes. And
it was built during the pre-colonial times, pre-independence. And post-independence, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda did a certain shelter where the fish traders are resident. From that time, no one has ever done anything. And it has been increasing by makeshift shelters where they put planks, thatched grass and timber and everything. That's why these fires have been coming in and out, on and off, year in, year out. We've been very deliberate about it. We work together with the council, with the support of the reopening of Konkola copper mines. We said, let us, the money that was paid there, we provided the right leadership, myself, the mayor, we work as a team. let's build a modern market there. So we've put up 2 good market shelters. Unfortunately, before we could go to the other one, we had that fire gutting. And now we're going to put up another good one that we are doing. The fish shelter that I was telling you, imagine from Kaunda's time.
Before we go to the fish shelter, how long will it take for you to complete the market that you're doing?
So we are beginning, look, deliberately, while we are trying to work as a government to get funds and everything together, I have gone as a member of parliament to lobby. I'm happy to say that, look, I lobbied from Konkola Copper Mines, I lobbied from other stakeholders. We've put up a sanitation facility, an ablution facility, which will be opening on Saturday, proper, with showers now, everything for women and men. And then now for the construction of the market, which will house about over 2,000 to 3,000 traders, as opposed to those about 2,200 that were displaced. We've put in about 800 more seats. I lobbied even from other corporate houses, like Yango is coming on board with a provision of about almost 1.8 million kwacha, and others are coming on board. So next week, the council itself has mobilized about 3 million kwacha. So we have got almost about 5 million kwacha. Next week, we are beginning the construction. So that the market, yes, we are beginning the construction of the market. Yes, yes, we are beginning. In record time, we are working to do this. And we continue to lobby for more resources. Our plan actually originally was to put up now a storage structure. But now the cost was going to almost about 80, 90 million kwacha. So we said, look, let's work within the resources we have.
Yes.
So right now we're talking about between 30, 40 million kwacha. So we've raised some resources. We'll continue with the construction. And we are going to put up a banking hall, a police post, a health center, among other things. So next week we'll be concluding the procurement process. So we continue the construction.
What is the projected time for the construction of the new Chipoka?
Well, we've been given by unfortunately, in the government systems, we've got these bureaucracies of how policies are implemented, procurements are done. They're saying, look, in the next 6 months, it should be fully done.
In the next 6 months?
Yes, yes. Look, this is where we're going to put a lot of steel structures, among other things. If we were to go for a storage structure, it would have taken even almost 3 years to construct. But now we're going to do just a bungalow. But it should have a certain face that should be appealing. Yes. Once we do this structure, it's done. You don't expect fires to gutter facilities.
What can you say has been the cause of the fire?
Look, I don't want to speculate. I'll tell you that, look, ultimately, we have never had a brick and mortar structure. Not if Malata, if paper and mabikapo. So suppose others sleep in the markets to protect their merchandise. So while they are sleeping, the fire moves into a timber block before they realize the whole structure is taken. I don't want to speculate whether they say, no, it was deliberately done. We've never held anybody accountable to say it was done. So because we never had decent structures. So it's easy to gutter those things. And besides, people have been spending night there. That's why we are now beginning to build more brick and mortar structures. So I'm excited about it. Wonderful. Then now, before that, you're talking about what other developmental projects have we done? Yes. Of the 18 wards. Besides, we've got 18 wards. Moving from Mudenda all the way to Minsenga, the president made a pronouncement that under CDF, we need to make sure that every mother delivers from a decent facility. We have put up maternity wings. We had health posts like in Minsenga, which were working from 07, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they close. Now it's a proper health center. It's not just a health center with one room. It has got an admission ward for men, for male ward, female ward, and the children's ward. It has got a maternity wing, which is a state of the art, and all facilities put in place. New police posts. People they don't need to move 40 kilometers from Musenga into the town center, or 12, 13 kilometers to deliver and everything. Now it is working 24/7. Police posts have been built. We've gone into these other areas. School classroom blocks have been built. I'm proud to say that in the last 4.5 years, yes, we've done almost 60 classroom blocks.
In all the wards combined?
In the constituency, yes. We have done over 60 classroom blocks. If I was to count correctly, I think the one that I'm just speaking off cuff, we have done almost 80 of them.
Wonderful. And
all these 80, they are accommodating to a tune of about 70 pupils. Each one of them has got desks, well furnished, and then we're improving the life for our people. Other than that, human capital development, the skills development, grants that have been given, and other facilities. But look, member of parliament, when you are chosen, it's not just about waiting for CDF to come. You need to be ingenious and innovative. Yes. How do I take care of the people? Suppose the CDF that is here is depleted because the population I have is more. We have got taxi drivers. that for many years, Baba Bomfia, a politician putting stickers there when campaigns come. I was very innovative, and I promised them, when you give me the mandate as a member of parliament, I'll begin a phased approach of empowering you with taxis. CDF came on board, we got 5 taxis. I thought outside the box, I lobbied, and I want to thank United Capital Fertilizer. You know, corporate entities must support the people.
Yes, yes.
Members of parliament must be lobbying. I went and lobbied from Capital Fertilizer. They gave us 7 taxis. Total 12 cooperatives of taxi drivers have been empowered. They are now their own bosses. And my vision is that, given another mandate now, we should migrate from taxi drivers to targeting bus drivers now. Where we should buy at every bus station, we can buy 2 or 3, then they're empowered. That's how you empower people.
How have you empowered especially the women in Chingola?
Yeah, that's a good question. We talked about sanitation facilities, educational facilities, among other things. But now you're talking about personal empowerments. We've got a lot of markets. Chiwempala itself, Lulamba, Kasompe, among others. As they go, they trade. You know, a box of tomato is about 250, 300 kwacha. We've been bringing them together from the money that I've been getting paid even as member of parliament, the allowances that I get. I feel privileged that I'm serving as Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. It's a very important portfolio. Not only traveled so much with allowances that come, but also interacting with the people. And the allowances that I get there, I owe them also to the people. I put something aside and I use it for empowering the marketeers.
Wonderful.
To support them in their business activities and documents.
So you literally give the marketeers money for their capital?
Well, you can call it in that way. Let me not say money for the capital. Let me say seed fund. Where we go into markets, we say, okay, guys, come together. How much do you want? Okay, we want to buy, I want 500 kwacha, me I want 300 kwacha. They come together. You give them about 50,000 kwacha, they go and
share.
do that. It builds their capital.
Yes.
And what they do deliberate, it's supposed to be a seed fund, like a revolving fund,
yes.
Not a seed fund, revolving fund. And they form committees. What these people are contributing, now they empower another one. It's the same thing we're doing with taxes. The taxes, I can assure you, from the CDF, the 5 taxes we bought, they've bought more others. They've been giving back to the councils, and that is one of the best retaining fund retaining.
For the taxes,
Yes. They've been paying back, and
do you know how many they are from the 12 you got them?
From the 12, I can't really tell you how many more have been bought, because the fund that comes from there does not only go to the buying of taxes, it goes there also to empower other communities.
Okay,
yes.
Other projects,
exactly.
other initiatives.
Exactly.
All right, Minister, I'd like us to move on. Especially those of us watching from Chingola, there's a number on the screen that you'll be able to call us on later on and be able to collaborate and also have a conversation with your MP, who is also Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Honorable Chipoka Mulenga.
Sure.
Honorable, Chingola is a mining town.
Yeah.
With many unemployed youths earning a living by scavenging through copper slag dumps, while others engage in what would actually be considered as illegal mining. What have you done to help empower these youths?
What it is, I need to say something. That's why I say, Chingola has got a fair share of its challenges. And I feel bad when I see people outside Chingola laughing at my boys, saying, hey, Nfijera Bofe, calling them names. That is not right. These are young men, and I've got no apology. These are young men who have chosen not to steal from people, okay? But they've got nothing to do. Remember, we're coming from an era where education was expensive. You needed a lot of money to send your child to school, even in a government school. If you don't have, what do? Then they say, I don't want to kula iwe tumbori abe, and then they started going to the pits to pick things. But as they go there, no government took responsibility to provide safety for them or ability to work with empowerment, among other things. They allowed them to continue that one, and I can assure you, deaths of those young people of ours did not only happen under our administration. They've always been happening. But leadership, administration, they've been hiding it. But the way our president works, you should be transparent and open. Then when you're transparent, you embrace a problem, then you can find a solution to the challenge.
Yes.
So now look at what has been happening. So unfortunately, we lost over 36 lives at once. I've been buying coffins, other things for those people. But it's not right, just because I'm a member of parliament and I want votes, to continue sending my young brothers and sisters down there to die because I want them to vote for me. that is not leadership, actually. I will not say it's bad leadership. I will use the words of my president, where he said, this is not leadership, or this is not just bad leadership, it's lack of it. So where you see a challenge, you need to go in, say, guys, we can't be burying 34 of you at once, or 36. Let's get out of this place. We find an alternative way to work safely, legally, and trade in a very structured way. So that's why now we have moved in. And right now, as they are out of there, I'm working tirelessly to engage all the major stakeholders. The mines, we have advanced in our conversations.
I've always had a question on this one. When you, as authorities, tell me you're going to die here, where you're working, step aside as I make a plan for you. Why not? Because as you're making a plan, maybe it's going to take, even if it's going to take 2 weeks to make a plan. My hunger, my expenses are not waiting for that 2 weeks.
Oh, I like what you have said.
Why not make a plan for me? Even if it's temporal, then tell me, can you be feeding from here as I'm making a permanent plan for you?
I hear what you're telling me. So you are telling me that while we are finding a solution, we should allow them to continue to die there. Because anger is not waiting.
That's not yes.
Let me tell you something. It's exactly what you mean. When you said, don't tell them to give them an immediate alternative.
Yes.
So while they are waiting so they can be doing something.
So they don't die of
Now
hunger.
listen to this. Don't hide under the pretext of anger. The lives you lose. My brother, in enough Empala. Every day we have got, you don't feel it. That's why it's easy for anybody to say, we are close to resolving a problem. And very soon, they'll be working in a structured way, decent way. And the plan that we are doing, look at the alternatives. Maybe to answer your question, what are you doing in place? Yesterday, the other day I was with my district commissioner, and we are encouraging our boys, when they get back to work there, they should drive loaders. They should drive excavators. What have we done? We are training them. Many of them have said, okay, cash train us. The CDF has provided, the government has provided the facility. It can't happen overnight. If you want immediate solutions, that's why you do shortcuts and hazards come. So whether we like it or not, there should be a process of waiting. It's like building an economy. You can't do it overnight. There'll be a time of pain. It's like, let me talk about you, Piri, and I'll say to you, because you're my tribal cousin, whenever you and I make our beautiful wives expectant, you think they'll just deliver for a pain? They'll be pregnant, and the pregnancy it will give some pains, some certain things. Then you deliver a child. This is how you do. It's a process. No. There is always a process. But if you want to skip the process, it will hit you one day. So definitely we are doing it. And that's why I've continued to engage them. Even last week I was with them. This weekend I'm with them to assure them, guys, yes, you have waited. We don't want you to be going in a very uncontrolled manner. The system is coming in place. Because truth be told, we will not just throw them out in the streets. And the president is very committed to their welfare. As much as they are out of there, facilities are putting in place for them, which will be very sustainable. That everybody will know that, okay, this is what we are working for. I don't want my young boys to go there, because in the fear that that's why even hazards and accidents come. But it's coming. That I can assure you, it's coming soon. Allow the rain season to finish. We are structuring something that is decent. When people talk the way you have asked me a question, okay, insalata akwate nsala. Namuleka kabiafwa. Mambo kushtembogosh. What have you done, Wapir?
You would have, the work done is equal to zero.
No, it's not equal to zero. It's actually detrimental to the economy. You've lost a life. And besides, you, Showstar, who said Kabir because you're in Nsala, you're responsible for their lives. One day.
But in the meantime, when we're, because you know government processes and like you talked about bureaucracy, you're not making a permanent solution for them in the next 2 months. What happens between now and then?
No, that is your opinion, that you're not making a permanent solution. We are not a government or a public sector that acts because we should do things that will outlive our legacies, our names. So this is what we are doing. So we are engaging proper entities, KCM itself, the Ministry of Mines, the Copper Belt Provincial Leadership, so that once this kick starts, like look at Senseli. Senseli has got a legal owner who is coming on board. And from the same young men, they will absorb some, whom they will work with as their employees. Besides Sensedi, it cannot take everyone else in a structured way. There are others who should work in other pockets. And that's why we are engaging KCM. We are engaging others. So, ngabambo kuomba. Tabakula tina tiyo chalanjirikila. They will have equipment, they will have everything. And very soon, you will call me on this program. And I'll tell you, if another MFF, people will work in a decent way.
What is the projected time for solutions like that?
Well, look, I don't want to give you a timeline like Nimailo, but I can assure it is soon. Give it, let the rainy seasons finish. Because even if we were to do it today, let the rainy seasons finish. Something is getting done. I'm not a leader who forgets my people. The president that we have...
Before the elections, we would have seen a solution there.
Until the elections were Showstar.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lock you down to say certain things.
And that's what you're going to fail.
That we can come back.
And that's what you're going to fail, to lock me down. No,
you actually said before the elections this would have happened and the elections have passed.
My election okay. Soon.
Okay.
Elections are in about 5 months. We've been working out a structured way. And His Excellency the President will be visiting them themselves again. You know, one thing is, look, our young brothers, the Jerabos, they are not as bad human beings the way people project them. Who just never had an opportunity to go to school because they couldn't pay. But I've been mama ba Jerabo, ngabale bomba kulia. Eba shitapa market, eba tuwala abana ku school. Barasambirisha abana. Ile chance bashakwete, barasambisha n'abana. Nawe nakafu mwana wabo afya rwambo kula bomba mulia. But right now they have grown and they don't have opportunities. So we can't throw them. We are finding something for them to work even in the areas, but legally, safely, and in a structured way. So it's coming.
Wonderful, wonderful. There are numbers on the screen that you can use to give us a call and talk to Honorable Chipoka Mulenga. He's MP for Chingola Central, and of course he's here to have a conversation with you.
And one thing before you say something, Showstar.
Yes.
That I need to say about them again. Ndabeba no kubeba. Ukutoba amabwe ukoche finte solution. Nabo bantu who should be responsible and uphold the law. I don't even tolerate anybody. I'm not to be no. Because I'm a table watcher. Why should you do that? There is always a way to resolve conflicts. Dialogue on the table. Chingola should never be known.
Are they given that chance are there chances for dialogue with those?
Yes,
those youths?
Yes. I am the member of parliament. Every time they call on me, I respond. Every time. So, and I always tell them, what have you gained out of this? I always, you can check my Facebook page, just last week. I was with them in their multitude. But when you
in fact, I was coming to that in terms of violence. What we saw in Chiwempala, where the disgruntled youths threw stones at the Republican president last year, was that an indication of deep-rooted socio-economic challenges affecting young people in Chingola, or
no?
What's really the issue?
There can never be an excuse for socio-economic challenges.
Okay.
There can never be an excuse.
Just hold on, Honorable. The gentleman says that we have a caller. Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, thank you.
How are you, sir?
Very fine. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Aaron Nyirenda within Lusaka.
Okay, Mr. Nyirenda within Lusaka. Please go ahead and talk to Honorable Minister.
Yeah, good afternoon, Minister.
Nyirenda, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, I would like to say, sir, you're one of the ministers that I follow, and I'm very proud of how you deliberate on government issues.
I'm humbled and grateful, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, with your indulgence, Mr. Showstar and the Minister, my question is out of the topic which you are currently discussing, but as one of the UPND members and who is in many WhatsApp groups of UPND, I would like to find out something from the Minister regarding parliament issues. I don't know if I can ask.
No, I'm here.
You may go ahead and ask. You don't get many chances to talk to the Honorable Minister.
All right, sure. So, Honorable Minister, according to what we've been hearing, is that each time you do the voting, this issue is about the 7. Each time you do a voting in parliament, there's a procedure that the list of people who vote is always published. Is it the speaker's discretion to withhold some names, or it's just a match, like the way few people voted for Bill 7, is it a matter that the Speaker must publish the National Assembly must publish the list, or it's just the Speaker's discretion? Because we've been hearing how they're saying that no, and so I just want to find out from you, sir, is it always that whenever you vote for anything in Parliament, it's a matter that whoever votes yes or no, the list shown? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable, you've gotten his concern?
Yeah. Look, I want to hold myself back from discussing parliamentary issues because, look, Parliament is another arm of government which is headed by the Speaker of the National Assembly. So I should be very careful on how I discuss it. If it was about the executive, because obviously I sit with the head of the executive, the president, on the table, and I could have discussed it and given that. Yes. For the Parliament, look, it's a secret vote that we do. That's why nobody knows among ourselves who has voted for yes or no, because it's a secret ballot. Yourself as an individual, you know what you vote.
Who you vote
exactly,
for, yes.
Yeah. But since it's a digital facility, in the background, it should display exactly who has done what and who has done what here. But on the display of who has done what, or the discretion of the Speaker or the Clerk of the National Assembly, I'm not very well informed on that one. Let me not comment on it just because I'm on a platform. I'll need guidance from the Speaker.
Let's go back to the question I asked earlier on. The disgruntled youths who threw stones at the president.
Look, poverty or social discontent can never compel anyone to commit a crime. Never. And it should never be used by anyone as an excuse. What happened was unacceptable and should never have happened. That is criminal. I love my friends in my constituency, but I can never be a public servant that advocates and justifies a wrong. That was just criminal. Nothing to say, it happened because they were discontent about social injustice. No. Dialogue provides solutions. I am one member of Parliament. When there is a challenge, I'm called upon, we engage. And that is as it should be.
So the people who are supposed to be, in this scenario, the people who are supposed to be leading the dialogue, it's not the youths. It's you, the leaders of Chingola. Are you willing to take some level of responsibility and say that maybe you have failed to handle that part with your youths in Chingola?
I will take responsibility that, yes, we should do more in engagement. Not a responsibility to say we have failed, because we are doing it. But when there is something away from what we are expecting happens, it gives room for me to say we should do more. In any challenge that you have, we should take ownership. Then there is room for improvement. If then there is no room for change. Yes, we should do more. And that's why I'm interacting regularly. Even when they're not in the peace, they're coming to complain. I interact with them, I engage with them. Where there is little to provide, you share. Where there is nothing to share, you tell them, okay guys, alternative, let's look for this one, but in the soon time to come, this is the future. Engagement is critical. So yes, when there is a fallout, as member of Parliament, I should take ownership. I will be amiss if I say, even that throwing of stones, which is criminal, it gives me an opportunity to say, we should avoid this from happening ever again. And I'm glad I've got a president who is so human, so humane, made a decision and said, the president's office is sacred. You don't touch it carelessly like that. Anything could have happened there. But HH was number one to say, spare my children. At the right time, I will engage them. And he's coming to talk to them. That's what a decent father does. And even after that thing, he called all of us. He said, you ministers, you members of Parliament, you should draw lessons from this. As much as it is bad, as leaders, what are you drawing from there? You need to descend to the people and speak. That ill that happened to me, it should never happen to anyone. We've got a president who wants to absorb these punches from everyone, even on behalf of a councillor, even on behalf of everyone. He wants any ill to happen, that have happened to him, never to happen to anyone. And he says, I've drawn a lesson, even you should draw a lesson.
Wonderful.
Sure.
There is also an issue of distribution of what some have described as compensation to youths removed from Senseli mine. I've got many questions on this one. The first one is, how has this money been distributed? some youths were actually seen on social media claiming to only receive 3,000 kwacha.
Yeah.
What was each person supposed to receive?
Let me tell you something, and I want to correct your statement, your word, where you say compensation. You only compensate you refer to compensation if somebody owned something, then you take it away from them and you replace it with something. That's compensation. Not if you did not own. Suppose this is your place. You don't compensate me. You move me out of it. But again, it comes back to this president we have. While we take these young boys out, they just want something to fend for themselves. But while we move them out, can we come up with a facility to help them with something to keep them going, even for a little while? If anything, even if it was not deserving, but let's keep them while we are sorting out a problem. So this was driven more, not by myself, but by the provincial minister, Honorable Matambo, and the Minister of Mines, Honorable Kabuso. They did all the meetings and everything. Yeah, so they even lobbied for about $4 million to be distributed among these thousands of youths. So even the distribution aspect, investor. So even the distribution of resources, it was not done by the provincial minister, by the Minister of Mines. It was given to the youths through a certain committee led by the clergy to say, can you structure a way how they pay themselves? So they structured that way, and they shared, they saw, and before even the distribution, everybody saw what they would get. But there were those who were doubting Thomas's. Governments have been chasing boys in and out. Others have even been shooting them and killing them. Nobody has been giving them. So many do not believe. So you find that when the money came, those who did not get, now they made the most noise. But the time for registration was there. So when it passed, they complained. Then again it came. Money is never enough. Even when you saw that you will get this, you're okay with it. But when they give you, then you see your neighbors got 5,000 or 10,000. You say, chenga. That is how it happened. Yes, I understand it can never be evenly distributed, but probably it was equitably distributed, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I understand. There are those who do not get enough. There are those who got more. But money will just never be enough to anyone. At any given time, people will complain.
So there were parameters that were being followed to determine...
Among themselves, yes. They agreed among themselves.
You have been...
But the most important thing, other than what they got, is to find them a place for a continuous livelihood. Because anybody, and I'm working on it, eba jomboro ma market, eba jomboro ma shop, eba straba na ma uniform. So the economy is also supported in that way, but it should be supported in a legal way, in a safe way. My brother, there is no joy. Back to Minafone, by MP, chite na umidi kila kumabo, mshtenko uche na taparalyze huko. By MP, but na bafaba na bibiwa shtenko mbokoshi. It is not right. I know you people who sit from outside. You say, you don't feel what we feel. Even Nabe no wasasanga so the boy Ashabanyina Afwa, Ashomukashi. That's why we are working tirelessly. I know the process can be painful because there is an absence of revenue generation for them. But there is a life that is preserved. And soon they'll get to work in a decent way. So even yourself as a media practitioners, encourage them to come and be trained as loader operators, dump truck operators. And we are paying for them. Encourage them to do that. We don't want...
paying for the...
Yes. For this dump truck operators, we are paying for them.
Do they know where they're supposed to go and get the education?
We are doing it, and look, they frown upon the IFFC, but it's there, it's working. And we give them priority as well, so that there is transformation of livelihood. So even yourselves, challenge us to say, how many have you done here? Who applied? Who did you leave behind? How can you improve them? We are doing it. There is enough money that the government has given. And I'm lobbying them, come on board. Even you, the media practitioners, don't just listen to one side and say, let them work smartly. Let them work safely. That's what we want. And now, even the free education that we have, because now, many of those children, because a time will come when this thing will just come to naturally weed itself off. Because that generation that is working in that area will have grown old, and the younger ones will have gone into school, have acquired skills, and they become responsible contributors to our communities.
I'll tell you this. There's a statement that you said, like, even you've thrown a challenge to us, the media people, to
encourage them.
To encourage them, and also to make sure that we get information from you, which is not just one-sided. Okay? A challenge I've had with, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I can tell you this. The challenge I've had with newsmakers from the ruling party, they are very reluctant to come for interviews.
But you know I'm here. I'm here. So I'll not answer for others.
No, I'm not saying you should answer. I just want to share it with you. They are very reluctant. I checked with you, and you actually told me, talk to this one. He handles my
No, listen.
And you're here.
I'll qualify what I said to you.
Before you say what you're saying, Honorable Minister. And you're here. You being here means that I will now get first-hand information from you, and everything that you go through. And through this medium, we're going to share with the people of Zambia.
Yes.
You can imagine certain people have been calling them for 6 months. They never come. And then if we have an opposition here, hey, you just host the opposition. It's not really our wanting to just host it. Although some people may want. It's not really our wanting to just host.
Yeah.
And in the long run, the voices from you are not as much.
Well,
the loudest will come from the outside, because those outside people are also available.
Showstar. In the same place, if you want to schedule a day with me, to explain government policy, I'll be glad to do it.
I can do that.
They're like, yeah, please, with pleasure. Especially our economic issues right now.
Yes.
If you can do, just say economics with Chipoka, economics with the UPND.
Yes.
Come, we'll discuss it. What is important, look, if we don't engage the public, then the public will have some gaps in information, which other wrong people will fill in. So I take pleasure.
I wish you other cabinet ministers can get this information.
Yeah,
please.
So I take pleasure in doing this. Why? I draw inspiration even from the president. The president is a person that is so media friendly. That's why when he's got this, he will interact with you for 2 hours, 3 hours. He will talk to you. So I love to do it.
Hi there, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello? Okay, producer's giving me... hello, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, safe. There are numbers on the screen that you can use to give us a call. Talk to Honorable Chipoka Mulenga. Is actually here to have a conversation with you. Whilst we're talking, Honorable, we're talking about engaging with the media,
sure.
There have been some sections of the public that says that your government is bent on silencing divergent views. I'd like to hear your take on that.
Well, I will refuse that one vehemently. When we say the government is bent on silencing divergent views, if there is a government that has even been abused more by divergent views, it is this one. Because we allow freedom of expression. You are a media practitioner. Long before the UPND came in government, you could see media houses being shut. The moment Prime TV could televise, contrary to the other government, they are closed down.
I remember I had to go follow President Haga at his house to go and have an interview with him.
Because he could not be accommodated to a radio station.
Yeah.
Remember when he was in opposition, as an opposition, biggest opposition leader, that is the kind of candidate we had. But do you see anybody in the radio station today wounded out? No. That's why today the opposition is so loud, even more than us. Because the freedom of expression is there. They talk anyhow. They do anything.
The challenge is that...
so how are we silencing them?
Thank you for asking me that question. The challenge is that your government is using seditious practices, some things like that. Like if someone just says, then anarchy, people have lost...
Showstar.
People have lost seats in parliament.
I hear you.
And things like that.
I hear you. Am I insulting people?
No, you have not insulted.
Am I maliciously accusing people? Am I giving falsehoods? No. You can have freedom of expression, but it should be factual. It should be truthful. It should not be malicious. it should not be denting. Just because I'm a member of parliament doesn't mean I've got immunity to lie. Immunity from prosecution by lying. Just because I'm a member of parliament doesn't mean I can accuse you of being a criminal and I get away with it. You're talking about members of parliament. One member of parliament accused ministers of getting a bribe. And he was told, can you prove it? Building a name is difficult, but damaging it can happen overnight. These are ministers who have built their careers over years beyond being a member of parliament. They said, no, as individuals, you're denting our names. Let's go to the courts of law and prove what you're telling us. He couldn't. The court found him wanting. How is a UPND government curtailing the freedom of speech? You as member of parliament, imagine this thing. You as member of parliament, just because you're a member of parliament, Waima, you start now inciting tribal hate. You are Piri, I'm Mulenga. You did not choose to be born Piri. Then I should speak against you as Piri. To say, you know, some certain language to say, in fact, you demean you. No. It's one Zambia, one nation. So you can't, and it's the law. We did not cause this, make these laws. It's a law. And the law, when it visits you, then you say the government is doing this. No, it's a law, which we, parliamentarians, by the way, implement, legislate over ourselves.
So I'll give you some.
So we should behave rightly. Besides, leaders should be upright in what we do. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable. So there are times when it is said that the way laws are being applied, they're being applied with double standards. And just last week, I was hosting Honorable Mumpipidi, who actually gave me a comparison of where Dr. Fred Membe talked about bodies, ECL's body, things like that. He was arrested. Compared to a gentleman who has got some influence, and he is seen to be part of the UPND. He also said, but he was not arrested. So I don't know how you can qualify that.
The judiciary is an independent body, okay? If there is indiscriminate application of the law, then it's unfortunate. That I'll tell it. If there is indiscriminate application of the law, it's unfortunate. But because the law, what is good for you should be good for me.
Yes.
What is bad for me should be bad for you.
Yes.
Okay? So now, citing what Vamayabu Malumbula cite, that's why everybody is free to take the law, the course of the law, to the right channels. Coming here to complain to you, it does not help. The channels of the law report. So maybe somebody reported the Tabal and the movie. Maybe somebody did not report that one. Me, I come from a community in Chingola, on a platform where we are, in the community where I live. People complain there are theft cases, and they will report on social media 300, 400, 500 theft cases. You go to the police, not a single report. So social media does not guarantee you representation of justice when you complain. Go to the police and report in the laid down procedures. You accuse us of saying implementation of selective application of the law. I really don't know how to answer that much. It is the same us who are saying, no, Nama votes but in the same Electoral Commission of Zambia, we lose Chawama, we win Kasama. We lose some, we win some. But when it is good, when we win, you say we rigged. How did we rig? Because you just campaign to the people, you win an election. But you should not speak like that. If what we do, when we lose Chawama seat, we say, where did we lose? How did we lose? What didn't we do right? How did we miss it as a campaign team? What message did we do wrong? When we win, we say, let's talk more.
Well, I'm asking, the phone has been ringing, so just to allow some people to come through. Hi there, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Thank you. Your name and where you calling us from?
This is Mwale.
Who? Banan?
Mr. Mwale, you're calling from Chiwempala?
Yes.
Sha ni bane. Abena Chiwempala bane swabo. Kulisha ni kumwesuko. Mwirauma abantu imwati yo. Eh?
Like abana benunga ba behavior ngekino kuba behavior because mu parliament mu kabilishina 100 and chan
Zingaza sanga za Chipoka abana bagwe tabale BMW inonge byoti namushaba na biteka pozana. Honorable, to start with tulumbo bwerero ngaifuwe kwa mayuts bakoro kwino kuchwembara in terms of nakwatska problem how we resort kusolving ira problem chane utubomvya all that please the president mure tulombera ko bwerero mure amutulombera ko bwerero mbakutwerera Honorable ifo not keshwa tulomba mwatwerera please ngafine mulanda ati you've got plans for us ko tingango bomberako ifo mwata tupera ko kwa twango bomberako ko yorotike kiba cyapa twena aba bantu n'abatuwerera. Then the other thing, please Honorable to apapate era magrete area era pa isi pada twali chiroko twali ngiro kushita ejo chinecho
mwiranda twali chofta mani ngiro kushita finish mwachitile pakati abantu bomfwe
twali ochaona ripo
manje
amagrete area mtu wombero musebo wesu wakuchati musebo ube bwino ufike na kula kumanda kulia
never kutina ukumapela ko chance na mipisha ko question him
please empire
abantu akotefe 5 fe wino namona ati if into nabatuletera kuti fitu bombere. How are you going to bend down those things?
That's why ababe babalanachi mumundani uchawo tupita mopi
so that we take off futi buka for MP Ashimbi again to bring again those things again. I said I don't know, my Bemba is not chan, but now mure ofenderanda tefe
very much. Are you going to use English? I wanted to use Bemba so that even my colleagues
and then okubombe chibemba. But futi to be honest with you, you need to be helping government, because obviously you know government is involved in doing a lot of things in different sectors.
True.
So in as much as I would like to stand with you people, sometimes it's hard to support people. Like Bamile Telefin, you bend down again, they have to go and lobby for money again to buy the same things again.
And such kind of a thing, to Admoineshamo now the Ashizu, our Dingo Chipokange opinion, to Admoineshamo, Nakuban to say, I think maybe a president to Admoineshamo, what tattoo for. But please tell them what to examine Midina, Udom Savoya, Trepo Pangike, Honorable, please to a papa.
Honorable, what is your response to the
Mwale, is it Mwale, right? Ba Mwale ndefo kumyebechi. You remember last week I was even there ngamigarachu empala you saw me engaging n'aba nesu bajarabo. Mufyongo tamufuma busuma. Uyo musebo balela ndapo chu empala road. Ndebukisha mu 2008. Is it 20? No, 2008. Ero twambire okulalira tubakapangira omusebo. Oh, they were na kumanda. Tawatala pango apo. Omusebo wadi ona ikyoyo. And I told them 2016 there was a different MP. The road was not done. 2021 alibebere uyu musebo we nanka afika makuli kateka katupela. Atupela nokutupela kateka pangeni musebo we. All the work na kumanda. Imetoka shapanga pala esho batubele baocha. I had to go and lobby the president. He told me to engage the Minister of Infrastructure. He said they made a mistake, engage them. Shabwera fishambi okubongo. Epa laba ileto bama bwelya nombaba lusani banani. Inoshitanga mwayako matipa. Ba mwale nefibusa fyandinde myebechi. Yare na matipa tukwete nabale wala bana besu na bana beno. Tusambili lepo chimo. Ili nomba infla ya lapwa. I've got news for you. Kateka wesoka inde ichilema. Alande myebo umuntu abana soti sana. Bombeni nankwe nala ndokwe but aleiso mwine to make sure that mubombe nankwe pa mukuri omusebo. Nero mwala pango omusebo. Lekeni myoto kashira imobene ba mwale mukale shitana protect chipangi omusebo. Amatipa yapwe. Bana mayo kuna kuma last station na boss bere ikalo musuma. Because this road is important. Emu abacha ama kliniki, emu abama chabanyama school, emu aba ama churches leading to the graveyard. So bane tulemi pangiro omusebo wenoyo. Tatwale kyobu biwa muntu manangu babiri batatulande chingolo fo yabipa. No. It will not change us from doing the right things. And me as your MP, as your public servant, I will make sure that we do this road for you. Na nimila ile. Kateka wesna waka indena that he will do it for you. So bane sentu wambele chapa ubo na ushibwena tuleke. Ubo na ushibweta fiobulanda. Aini ba mwale. In fact, I pray to God that Bushku motuke seku mana pasara denga hapa constituency office from 9 to 13 hours. Come pass through. Then you should even be an ambassador for the youths to speak against these vices. Thank
you, Mr. Mwale.
So you see, these are voices coming in from there. Genuinely, these are works that we are doing. Those that we said we would do, we are doing it. But sometimes, unfortunately, the disgruntled ones come on board. No mbanga toba vaya muikata. Yo watobe chuaikata. Mukana tushe pate na kwata umufulo. Well, it's public things that they are losing. The longer wayapo, so it's a sorry sight. Kuli amatipa chibusa one when you should have had the tarmac.
I hear you. This is taking responsibility from some of your youth, and I think it's a good sign going forward. You've been minister for 4 years for commerce, trade and industry. How would you rate your performance as minister?
Look, one thing I don't do is put scales for myself. To say 1 to 5, 1 to 6, I don't. I love to commit to delivery. I feel very proud that I've been given this time to serve under President HH. I don't come from a commercial background myself. Yes, I did my master's and my postgraduate in this social sciences, but I come from a technical background. But the president gave me a ministry, has given me a ministry of business, of economy. And himself is a businessman. Himself is an economist. Himself is an entrepreneur. So I thought, the man has held me. So I cannot say I have done this, I will say we have done this. Because the president does not allow us to work in isolation. Could be Minister of Energy, we work as a team. Now let me tell you what we have done. Ichimumfat debt restructuring was not a joke. It was a big thing. That's how come you saw Kwacha Yala Penafia. I'm a mining, I come from the mining town. It was because of that debt restructuring. Beyond what we can pay. We were the first country to but then President ZNBC it was not long to ilalaba twashira mbokula manana ba mwisebala mbokula inshimito kashaba zesco ichalo bali ingirefyo kupoka fefyonse fintu because we were defaulting to pay epo nombo mwana wa muntu akainde atiri okwebati ukutwa kongola kamba papate banka kiko kumaboko kumolunde lako. That's why you saw in the first 2.5 years of President HH's rule, he was moving from country to country in Europe and Asia. Because that is where the past government, or we as a people, borrowed from. So he needed to go and negotiate with them. We have even defaulted. We were supposed to be paying $1.7 billion per year. Now we are paying about 600, it must be 600 million or $900 million per year. No, less than 900 million, $600 million per year that we are paying. But the difference over about 1.1 or if 1 or 900 million, to do other things. Now let's come to how we can grow the economy and what we have put in place as Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. There is no economy that can grow by just mining copper and molestish. President HH made the decision. Imoba Chipoka Finamirash came in Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. Pangeni tuampa nitukula panga copper Zambia. Copper wires. From Bakaunda, we only had one copper company, Zamefa. Mwanawasa nishibai shireisa, varupia banda obviously, vasa tuleta kwa new country, which was never performing, because tawa lesson the copper. But now, under HH, we have made 5 more copper companies to come on board. 5. Imagine from independence, we only had 1. But in 4 years, we have got 5. Protoni, Uniflex, a lot of them. Now, and these 5 companies have created 7,000 direct jobs. So in future, our vision is by the year 2036, Zambia should stop exporting copper, raw copper. We should be exporting wires and finished products. If in the 4 years we have created 7,000 jobs from copper processors, by the year 2036, we should create over 30 to 40,000 jobs.
We're speaking of copper. What are we doing to increase the value for
now this is it
currently?
Right now, when you go to Uniflex here, I challenge you by Showstar. Ku industrial area kulia Mwalasanga Uniflex. We are processing copper into rods and fine wires, which Zesco can use by mines and everyone else. It's the same thing with Proton. They are doing the same. It's the same thing with in the economic zone. They're doing the same. We are producing copper in a final product. So now we are, instead of selling concentrate, we are selling wires, and which has created more jobs, more taxes, more revenue, and more stability. If out of that, as a country, to allege to import $600 to $700 million worth of fertilizer per year. Ukushita fertilizer ukuleta mchalo. Aka India alikuwa tayari mwena tukukesa abenkondo shaifu mchalo. Uku fertilizer yaka lafilo kuisula. Bachipoka pangen kampanya ya fertilizer. United Capital Fertilizer. Number, instead of importing fertilizer, nifo tuleshitisha fertilizer kufialo fimbi. That's why na currency mule muna yambo kula kosa. Because instead of, ila 600 million ya lefa mchalo ya ikala nomba. But ila 600 million tuamba nukula pangira pana shimbi shambo kula isa. And United Capital Fertilizer has created over 10,000 jobs. Manganese, chibusa wandi. Yena yale fafe kulua pula, yafu makuserenje.
I want to say something on the fertilizer before we go to manganese. Are we ever going to see a situation where the cost of fertilizer really drops?
Let me ask you a question.
I don't want to talk about the 250.
Don't worry.
That was in the campaign.
No.
Just
yo umfweni. Lekeni mipshedi pshedi. In fact, if you remember the campaign, I don't remember HH talking about fertilizer. Yes, I saw on his Facebook page talking about meal. But number chila muntu ali ambafyo kubepo bufyo HH andeti bunga buka befi yo ala njati bread ka befi. Listen to me. Yes. The president in opposition promised lower prices. For how many years did HH stay in opposition? Over 20 years. Ngalande chilelo. Banainenga nateka ichinka chibwesha padi. Ati ya election mwamuponya. Another 5 years come. Achilandile mu 2008. Fundamentals get to change and they become worse. Don't pick what he said in 2008, preparing for the 2011 elections in 2021. Fundamentals change. Are you getting this thing that I'm saying?
I hear you.
So we should be logical in our analysis.
Check when
exactly.
when what was said.
And do the ratios. If 1 is to 5 in 2018, what will 1 be to in 2021? Then we are going to have an intellectual conversation. But because of politics, to feel under fear anyhow.
Great. So
now I want to say something that is important about manganese.
Yes.
You asked me, copper. Twice na bakuli fertilizer. Manganese mwewe kala chalo. Yale imbo kulua pula, baimba kuserenje, basenda bai ku India, basenda ku China, basenda ku Indonesia. Ngamulea ku Chibombo. Mwafika ku Chibombo on the right side if you're coming from. Mwana fifima Jiangxi economic zone. Those nice shades ba pangire anda bulabuteko bwalipo. Ati yala sangu kafe ma shades. Ama Chinese bakola leta mashati ama tai no kulashitisha. Aya pangwa ku China. Aka India tilo kwa Chipoka not under my watch. Those shades, they will not be warehouses, they will be industrial parks. We have transformed those from warehouses into industrial parks. We are now making car batteries for ourselves in the country. Yarama Sanvot. Now we are making batteries. Manganese is now being given value addition. Just Sanvot has created more than 300 direct jobs. And we are increasing production capacity for export so that we can increase production from 400,000 to 3 million per year. And it will create now more than 1,000 direct jobs. That's what we are doing. Among many other things, our exports of grain, our other things has increased. And that's how you see the kwacha is stabilizing. That is part of my ministry. It's the economy. Obviously, in Shibombaneka, direction from the president, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, Mines, all of us were a team. So these are achievements that we are doing. And we are going to do better. Chabulanda, that we have got this Iranian war, which has come. Because it is now affecting us.
Before I go to the war, Minister, there's still one question that I had on fertilizer. The fact that we're now producing our own
Pamutengo. Shachimiasuka. Vakalamba. Let us be sincere with ourselves.
Yes,
you followed.
I want to hear from you.
How much was fertilizer in 2021 when you took over government? It was 1,500, 1,350. How much is fertilizer when you go there? Kunokulusakanga mama shop. It is 850 kwacha. It was between 1,500 and 1,350. But when you move it from Lusaka, walitola kuchingola, wala isanga yaba 900 or 1,000. Because of the free market economy issues that we have, and again from the logistical part. Apo pena chibusa wanne ya Showstar ulingo wala kwati mwaliwesha from 1.5 yafika 1.8. Because yafika walitola kwa bet was could be 1.6, 1.7. Because now we are producing locally, the price reduced. You understand this? That you should pick it. Check your okay, just go to 2021.
I'll check the number.
Then check that so that you can compare. Now, beyond that, because fertilizer now we are making it within our country, but we are importing a lot of raw materials like phosphate. Phosphate, we are importing it. You number ilamu fati Hamuz straight ila balingi kupita po ila. Na besala. Phosphate yala ko kuisa. So number epo President achitire yako aisa Minister of Mines. Can we do exploration for phosphate muzambi ngatamwaba? Na tuisanga. Ku Eastern Province uko no afuma imwe. Era mwale tuma phone lero we interviewer wa ku Eastern. Watch tuma ni mwale na wala umbi. Kumye nukude anomba lekeni nyere fya arashika kunyimba na kusinda. The president has given a directive and the mining license has been given to the same fertilizer producers. Now in Eastern Province we are going to have a phosphate plant mine where they will be mining phosphate to bring into the fertilizer production. Now, if imagine we'll be producing it ourselves, so we will not be importing. So you express the price to come lower even further. Now, that phosphate should be processed here in Lusaka. The president said, no, start processing this phosphate right in Eastern Province. So there will be a value additional industry besides the mine that will be set up in Nyimba. So mwana Nyimba, ilimulea mkuvota unomwaka, ibukishe nimiaka inde ichilema. Ale mipera na industry. So more jobs will be created besides the mine. There will be a value addition.
What is the projected time on these two industries being created in Eastern Province?
Well, by the end of this year, what will come on board first will be the mine. They will be mining. Then the industrial development of an industry to process it will follow. But for this year, definitely, you see the works taking place. And you colleagues, if you develop tulemba, uwendo, tulefumiyamo kopa. Imumwembo wendo muleri ya mwembeba ono mukute mbeba mwakula lya bane ni phosphate mwakula afanya na papa ala imwe.
Alright, but got you short when you were talking about the US Iran war and how it may affect our Zambian economy.
I want to say this with a lot of sadness in my heart. It is unfortunate that the president's words, which he started speaking way earlier, are coming to a reality. And we are feeling it. He said, conflict anywhere else in the world is conflict everywhere. Zambia imports fuel from the Middle East. Now the Middle East is failing to move the fuel through Iran. So we will not have fuel. Now the fuel price in America and everywhere else, the fuel price has gone up. Given the economic fundamentals we put in place, I can assure you, unomweshi ukupwa fuel could have even hit 20 kwacha. But now the suppliers are increasing the price. Imagine increasing from 45, 55 per barrel, dollars per barrel, to 120. Even asoko to alashta, umutengo wala ni no fuel. So I want even to tell the country, with sadness I tell you, that the suppliers of fuel will sell it to us at a high price. So definitely we'll buy it, and even the pump price, it will affect the people because of that war that is there. Are we
expecting fuel increase maybe by the end of the month?
Listen to me. Whether we like it or not, what is even saving us right now from seeing an increase in price is this monthly price announcements that we make. As much as people hated the month per month, by today we could have even seen the price going up. Because now we hedged it, that in this month this will be the cost. But if you last the next month, definitely we'll buy it at a high price. It will affect everyone else. So it's unfortunate. So this is how unfortunate it is. But we are not an irresponsible government. We are working around the clock to see, even as we are going to increase the cost of fuel because we are buying it higher, how do we protect the consumers? Should we increase it? Because right now, imagine, from $50 per barrel to 130.
So it's
that increase is more than 100. Yes. So that's 300%. Imagine if we had to put 300%
so if you give us direct cost, it would cost.
It would be like that. Exactly. But now, as a responsible government, remember, there was this energy fund which the president created. There are other things that we have done. So now, this is where now we come in to protect our people. As a government, we are responsible. Other countries around us, you should also be comparing with what is happening. Even in the country, America itself, we are a responsible government that will try to cushion the people from heavy burden of the fuel costs. And that's why we are saying it's work after work. Let's produce more copper. Let's produce more manganese. Let's produce more maize so that we can sell more and we have enough money to protect you and ourselves. If this war happened 2021 and going back, it was going to be catastrophe. It was going to be kafwaf. But now, with the fundamentals we've put in place, yes, pain will be there, but it will not be as bad. So, and the lobby that I would do as your public servant is, Mwena Zambia, and work together to protect ourselves from this. Because as your government, with the president we have, we are working ahead to see how we can cushion the pain and the burden to our people.
Do you think an ordinary Zambian would understand that some of these things like fuel, actually the prices will surge because of things
They
that
will not understand.
outside?
They will not understand if you don't explain to them. If you are deliberate on allowing Ababufi to just speak, your role as a media, that's why I love to engage the media, is to inform and educate. You got the right to tell me how much money. If you can compare, but the way you told me, that should be your role. You should say no. Fuel prices every day, BBC, CNN is showing. So how do you think we are spared from it? Does Zambia produce fuel? We don't produce fuel. If a country like America, which produces fuel, they have seen an increase in that rate, are we going to be spared? We can't be. So we should be realistic and logical when we talk. But we are working as a government to make sure that that pain of our people is not really bedded on them. Other government would have said, how can she, that free education to be good fuel. That free teacher, civil servant to be good fuel. But we can't do that. We should continue to recruit people. We should continue to pay our civil servants on time. We should continue to pay our pensioners on time. We should continue to feed our children in school while we continue for you and I to work very hard, produce more, so that we get more money to cushion the people.
Honorable, because of time, I don't have a lot of time, but I've got 3 quick questions for you. What has been the progress towards the reopening of Mulungushi Textiles in Kabwe?
That is a masterpiece. And I want to say it in this way. Abantu balalanda yo sama government bale so Mulungushi vaisala, we are not that government. My president does not work to appease people for the moment. He works to bring a sustainable development for now and future generations after he has long served. Mulungushi Textiles, let me tell you the difference between Vale Isula Vaisala na Ifwe. Vale Isula na equipment ya Chileba Kaunda. Do you think equipment ya Chileba Kaunda can print a tie like yours with good quality? And do you think it could print a number thing at one time? No. We have invested $140 million in brand new equipment of Mulungushi Textiles. And we are opening it beginning next month. And it will create 400 to 500 direct jobs. And we have been transparent from day one. First time equipment here is Chile, I took the media, said Muimwene. When we are doing the fitting of equipment, Nariba said Muimwene. When we are doing the first running of the equipment, Wadi Imwena. When the first Chitenge was being rolled, Mwari Imwena. The next now is for the president to go and commission it. And what Mulungushi Textiles, everything has been done, and Fenomba, and we are finished. By the beginning of next month, we are going to commission it.
Beginning of next month.
And listen to this. The president gave a directive. Chipoka. Mulungushi Textiles for them to depend on ZESCO power. Suppose load shedding they should set up their own power plant. They are building their own 200 mega power plant.
They're building their own.
Yes, a 200 mega power plant. Mulungushi only can use 10 megawatts. 190 will go into the grid. When load shedding Mulungushi can supply for the entire Cabo.
Let's talk about the sustainability plan, including the provision of raw materials.
What we did, I told you $140 million investment. $40 million, $100 million was for equipment. $40 million was to bring now the new cotton farmers. Cotton producers, now we have brought in over 2,000 to 3,000 cotton farmers funded by government and Mulungushi Textiles. $40 million, $400 million given to them. Seed to pela, fertilizer to pela, and we've employed new farm extension officers who are spending time with them. 2 years to just producing cotton. So we have got enough cotton and we'll continue producing more. Now, as I'm telling you, captive fertilizer, we're not only using ourselves, we're also exporting fertilizer. Even linen Korea, I'll wait for the president to announce. Before we even start producing more, other regional members, neighbors countries, they are placing orders for the material from Mulungushi Textiles. So Chibusa, the next time Munkesa is next year, Ishilefoka fualeli jacket ya China na nguteki. Uka fualeli afuma Mulungushi. Cotton grown by ourselves. Linen processed by ourselves.
Yes.
Tailored by ourselves.
Thank you.
Listen to what good things will come, why it will be sustainable. Local market demand will be high. Under this government, we have pronounced what we are saying, preferential procurement.
Yes.
And local content. Before I'm a soldier tabalashita order, I'm a uniform from outside the country. We are nasi from outside the country. I am hotels from outside the country. First, they should buy from Mulungushi.
Nice.
Because Mulungushi will do 3 things that will guarantee sustainability: right price, right time of delivery, and and good quality of international standard.
In fact, that's what I was coming to. There's always going to be competition in terms of where we are already getting cheaper imported fabrics. That competition, how are you going to?
We will manage it. Let me tell you what we do as a government. Are you
going to be cheaper than, because some of these things like this jacket, I'll probably buy it at for lack of better terms, 5 kwacha from China.
You're humble.
Producing less.
Now listen to me. Simple question of fertilizer. Fertilizer, we are bringing it at 1,500. It's 850. So it's the same relationship. But what is important? It's quality. Remember the opposition. I've never forgotten. Parliament. He went on Parliament on rampage saying, no fertilizer, if you have Tanzania announced and published and said, Zambian fertilizer is very good, we're placing another order. Politicians can come and erode good things that their own country have done. Sometimes we politicians, we speak against our country carelessly to hate the government that is there, but we are hating the economy at a larger scale. I can assure you, the fertilizer we produce in Zambia is of global standard. They can use it in America, they can use it in Britain, the standard is good. That's why it is supporting the entire Africa. Even the linen we produce by Chipoka will be proper fine linen. Proper wax. So people, Zambians, will not even need to buy from outside, they'll buy locally. But again, I want to tell the manufacturers and the producers, do not exploit the Zambian public when you're producing locally. Give us the benefit of producing locally by a good price.
Yes.
I know it's a free market economy. Because when I talk about this as Minister of Commerce, you say you're controlling market, controlling price controls. It's my job to speak for the people, to tell the manufacturers, to give them the right prices.
Is there anything you can do as government if manufacturers are exploiting the clients?
You've used the word exploitation. I've got what we say, consumer customer protection unit.
How do you use that?
Many times.
In 3 months or so, when the dollar has been coming down, have you sent the consumer protection to go and
I don't even need to send them. First, they interact with the producers. Say, guys, you are exploiting. Government has given you waivers on these taxes, so you are just making more profits. Pass it on to the people. They become realistic, they pass it on. When they don't pass it on, we interact with them to say, can you be reasonable? They say, no, it's these factors. We work on them to make them facilities available, and they do. First, look, before aggression, there should be engagement.
Yes.
Before aggression, yeah.
Yes. Honorable, because of time, I'm going to have to let you go, but before you go, I'd like you to just say a word to the Zambian people that have been following this program.
My dear countrymen and women, I come to you as your public servant, committed to serving you through thick and thin. And I want to thank you on behalf of His Excellency the President that when our country had been going a serious economic turmoil, we stood together and we are getting our country back on track, joining the Champions League in the global performance of everything else. I know there have been challenges that you have said, it doesn't happen overnight. We continue to work together. We continue to provide free education to our children. We continue to provide meal allowances to our children. Don't listen to the former Minister of Education who once said we removed meal allowances from UNZA and CBU because there were only 2 universities getting it. We instead to UNZA and CBU, we even gave more. Only 20,000 pupils were benefiting from bursaries and meal allowances. Under our administration, over 46,000. This is a committed leadership. We educate our communities, we educate our country. Listen to this. We are committed to making sure that we create more jobs through value addition. It's the more reason why our copper processing companies have been increased in our country from 1 or 2 to about 6 now in the country. More jobs created for our people. In the agricultural sector, I want to assure you that we continue to provide the right inputs and fertilizers for our farmers, both within and outside the rural communities, to make sure that our food security is enhanced. I'm very certain that if we work together, we will build this economy from strength to strength. Coming the elections that are soon to come, I ask you to work with the public servant and son of the soil, President Hakainde Hichilema, with his vision and leadership that is all-inclusive, one Zambia, one nation. His leadership does not select based on where you come from. He brings everybody on board. Together we'll build a land of hope called Zambia. To my electorates, my residents of Chingola, colleagues, it is very appalling to see that on suspicion, when you see things like that happening, please go to the police, go to hospitals. The right people will adjudicate over us. Don't take the law in your hands. It is not right. As your elected public servant, I say together we will build Chingola into something that is sustainable and resilient. Thank you very much. God bless you. Support the President of the Republic of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema Sotsana. Thank you.
Honorable, thank you so much for making time and, of course, speaking to the people of Zambia today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
We've been talking to Honorable Chipoka Mulenga, MP Chingola Central, and of course, he's had a lot to say. And thank you so much to everybody who managed to come through to engage with the minister. Until next time, my name is Jackson Piri.
Thank you.